Good morning. My name is Caitlin, Customer Success Manager here at Sonar. I'm joined with Danielle, who is one of our product managers, and welcome to another Sonar webinar. Today, we're going to help you rediscover Sonar and highlight some recent releases that have been impactful for our customers this year. Our product team has been on a roll, and we've put out more releases this year than we have in the last several years combined. So buckle up. We have a lot to cover. And Danielle, I'll let you kick us off with the Trade War Command Center.
Awesome. Let me go ahead and get this screen shared here. Alrighty, so when you first log into Sonar, you will be taken to the Trade War Command Center. This was a very early release for us this year and has been super impactful for all of our customers. This dashboard is designed to help you cut through the noise and deliver a unified view of international as well as domestic freight flows. It will show warehousing pressures as well as different trade lane shifts. So you will have ocean volume, intermodal volume, and truckload volume, and quick, easy to read cards there at the very top. Diving in deeper, we'll go into some top US gateways where you could look at departed volume by country, by port, cleared container volume, and then dive into more rail terminal and market specific intermodal and truckload data sets here as well. We also have FreightWaves news articles that are relevant to ocean shipments and disruptions, tariff changes, and things like that, where you can read more of those articles there. And then finally, some national level ocean volumes in seasonality view. So you can look at where this year's volumes are in compared to the previous 3 years. We also allow an even deeper dive if you want to get into some regional trade analysis. So we have several regions available. There are more coming soon as well, where you can look at specific countries of origin for that region, top trade lanes coming to the US, and then as well as those top international trade lanes.
Awesome. Yeah, this is a great tool, specifically shipper customers, but we have our broker and carrier customers as well using this for high-level insights to really stay on top of any tariff disruptions and anything that's affecting overall supply chain. So now we're going to go into truckload and look at some more market-specific insights. This is our key market insights. This is part of our broker toolkit, which also includes coverage guide, sales guide, and our national truckload insights page. So really just trying to make it easier for our broker customers to find data within Sonar without having to build out some of those custom dashboards. So when you're in key market insights, this is helpful to dive deeper into those markets that you already operate in, as well as if you have some new opportunities and you want to familiarize yourself with that market, having those insights within one place for any capacity or volume disruptions. What I specifically wanted to point out here is our new AI analysis, which is going to be this button in the upper right-hand corner. Once you click on this, you will select your business type, so carrier, broker, shipper, depending on your use case. Then you'll get a little quick read overview. This is powered by AI to give you some market updates. Think of like if you were talking to us or one of our market experts, kind of explaining the data for you there. So we'll give you a quick overview, and then you can dive deeper to some market condition drivers, some notable changes and trends, or actual insights tailored to your use case. So as I said, really giving you that why behind the numbers and how you can utilize these in your day-to-day operations.
Yeah, I have to say the AI analysis is probably one of my most favorite updates that we've had this year. Previously being in onboarding and training our customers on how to use this data, what it means. This is really the perfect way, especially if you are newer to using Sonar in the data, to get used to what those values mean. So this is really going to break out those changes in data sets into more of a layman's terms of, what it means for you and what decisions you should be making from it.
Completely agree. I love this tool. Awesome. I think that's it. Anything else I'm forgetting with the key market insights or the AI analysis, I guess?
No, I think you pretty much covered it. I mean, the key market insights will allow you to get a quick snapshot of what's going on in that market. We've got Pendleton, Oregon pulled up here, so you can just quickly see, even from the chart alone, that they are experiencing a tightening in that capacity. I mean, sitting at 11% compared to a 6% national average, and we're not seeing large increases on that national level. This market is definitely starting to feel that capacity tighten.
Definitely. And you can see that up top with the cards too, breaking it out in that simple to read, okay, current tender rejection, this is a tight environment, and it's continuing to tighten with that key market trend. So really trying to make that data easier to read for our customers. Okay, now we're going to go back into a different mode and go into our intermodal dashboard. This is a great tool, especially for the current environment that we're in. So I'm going to pass it back to Danielle to talk through it further.
Yeah, awesome. So this dashboard was built to empower shippers to make data-driven decisions by consolidating truckload, intermodal, and maritime data into one intuitive view. You can see spot and contract rate trends on the first chart here. So both looking at truckload spot as well as truckload contract, along with that intermodal spot and intermodal contract. Now, this chart will default to relative mode. And what that means is it's going to show you the percent change of that data set over the time period selected. In this case, it's 1 year. So you can see what each of those rates have been doing over that time. And then if you zoom in, it's going to adjust those percent changes for you as well. You can also look in absolute, where your contract, or excuse me, your spot is going to be higher, truckload higher, and then your intermodal is going to be lower. Typically, there is a cost savings with those moves there. Then we also give you insight into the volume trends. So this is going to show intermodal splitting out domestic and international loaded volumes specifically. Now, this data set is really great because it is giving you the total containers that are moving across the US, as well as some insight into those ocean trends. So for those of you that are not maybe used to looking at ocean volumes, these are a perfect leading indicator into those truckload and intermodal volumes here in the US. It can tend to give, depending on the trade lane, 4 to 6 weeks lead time before we see those volumes actualized. So it can kind of, you see major spikes or major decreases, you can expect that trend to carry over. We also show a mode optimization table down at the bottom. This is where you can compare intermodal and truckload rates on a lane-by-lane basis. So we'll dive into the miles of that lane, what current domestic loaded volume for intermodal that lane is seeing. And then we get into some of the rates and rate changes. And as you scroll over, you're going to get into the truckload insights, contract and spot rate changes, along with those contract savings. So what percent could I expect to save across this lane if I were to move the freight to intermodal versus running it over truck? So, and you can see we have 65 lanes available for you to view. You can sort any of these columns as well, and you can star your lanes if there's any that you do tend to swap intermodal truckload, or ones that maybe you're considering. When you star those, they will populate to the top of your table and stay there until you unstar them.
Yeah, this is a great tool to help if you're already operating in the intermodal market and just want to get ahead of any shifts, but also if you're not as familiar and just want to see, why am I losing some of my volume to the intermodal space? How can I educate myself more on that? Great tool to utilize as well. Yep. I am going to flip back to truckload and go to our chart feature. We're going to look at some lane level rate search. So as you probably know, we have had our rate intelligence tool where you can search spot and contract on a single lane basis. You can now do that on any chart within Sonar. So you can use our chart feature or on your custom pages if you want to reference it time and time again. But you are now able to search lane level rates within the chart. So you can dive deeper into those rate changes, shifts, see those longer term trends, compare the spot and contract, how close together are they moving, trending. Also look at that year-over-year change on either spot or contract. Don't want to do both at the same time, gets a little busy. But this is great if you run this lane consistently and you want to see how is this trending compared to last year. Am I experiencing an increase in overall spot rates on this lane? Am I down year over year? Why is this lane a problem child for me? So really the ability to dive deeper on those single lanes. Anything I'm forgetting on this one before?
No, yeah, okay. You covered it all.
Perfect. And then in addition, the lane level insights are not stopping there. We also released our seasonally adjusted moving average, which is available on these lane level rates and other data sets within Sonar. And this is going to give you a 6-month projection for how rates are trending, what to expect, and how to plan and get ahead of any shifts. We are looking at the last 2 years of historical that's factored into this, but we also look at current market trends to see what's driving this. Is anything changing? What do I need to get ahead of? I'm sure I'm forgetting some of the technical stuff. Danielle, anything you want to add into that?
Yeah. So, like Caitlin said, the SAMA is using the last 2 years averages. And then we also blend in and have a year-to-date factor that goes into it as well. So it's going to look at what those rates have been doing year-to-date for the specific lane, as well as those last 2-year averages. And that's what is used to then essentially forecast out the date for those next 6 months. Now, something to keep in mind with this forecast is that it will update every day as our data updates. So all of our spot rates are updated daily. So you will consistently see changes to this as it adjusts specifically for that year-to-date factor that's applied there. So you won't see major changes, jumps, or anything like that, but it will update daily.
So as the market shifts, we're going to shift those projections as well. And this has been a huge ask for customers. Everyone wants to know what's going to happen, when's the market going to flip, and even more specifically, you want to know how that affects your core lanes and your book of business. So this tool is great for those insights.
Yep. One other feature with the lane level searches, and I'm sure some of you have noticed, it will default to flat rate. So it's going to give you the all-in rate for that lane. Should you want to toggle that to a rate per mile, you can. There's a little settings icon right next to the lane name. And then you can flip into that rate per mile and then add your SAMA on from there to forecast out should you need to.
Yep. And it's great to have that option because if you look at any of our national insights, so our national spot rates, they are going to be on that rate per mile format instead of the flat rate. So when you want to compare those two, you have the option to do that as well.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right, moving right along here, we will go ahead and jump into our SCI Supply Chain Intelligence platform. Now, early in their year, we also had a complete and total redesign for this tool. So if you've used it in years past and maybe haven't used it recently, I'm sure this looks completely different to you. We have an all new enhanced summary view that will, aggregate all of the lanes that you've uploaded. So that way you're able to manage those RFPs before, during, and after that bid cycle. You can look at opportunity lanes, those that potentially are overpaying, that are easy to cover lanes, and then those that are at risk where you're severely underpaying on difficult lanes that are typically unfavorable to the carrier where, you may need to be more competitive there. So the most recent thing that we've done with this tool is with our lane view, we have even further enhanced our find capacity. So we have an integration now with GenLogs, and this will allow users to have more confidence when they're doing their service provider sourcing. Now, this will show you carriers as well as brokers that have ran that lane recently in the past. You're able to access contact information as well as evaluate reliability and safety through the out-of-service rates, and it will give you vehicle out-of-service rates to be specific. It also has company reliability scores where you're able to see just in general, how reliable, how much can I rely on this particular carrier? The carriers listed, any of the carriers listed in here will have a active DOT for more than 15 months, and have been seen at the origin within the last 30 days, as well as at your destination, at least within the last year. So you can be confident that they have run this specific lane recently in the past. And again, it's giving you, if they have that broker authority, then it will tell you how many power units, that vehicle out of service rate, which this carrier has a 0. Excellent. And it also compares that national average. So that way you can just see, are they above or below that national average, just to kind of give you that baseline there as well. The company score is going to be that reliability. So 1 to 100% representing the carrier's company performance and reliability. The higher the percent, the more reliable they are on for that specific lane. It'll also go into what equipment types that they will run: dry van, reefer, flatbed, and then the MC number if you wanted to dive further. Which, while we have the MC number, I want to kind of touch on something that we just released this week. So if you're looking in here and you've got this MC number, but you want to dive a little deeper, this isn't quite giving you everything that you need. Within Sonar, we now have these risk management tools. We've got the Bannon report and search carrier. So if we go to the Bannon report, it will ask you for that MC number or DOT number, where you can then search that carrier to find more information. It's going to go over, give you that contact information, business information, insurance, cargo that they've carried before. And specific to Bannon report, they also have these 4 groupings that they will group that carrier or broker in, and let you know if there's any red flags. Are they a do not use? Do they have an extremely high out of service rate for their drivers or their vehicles? Or is there something else that is causing them to be a do not use? Or are you safe to proceed? So it will give you all of that information, and you can dive in deeper to that as well. And then another option that we have is the search carrier. So this one will allow an open search. So if you just have a carrier name, but you don't have like an MC or DOT number, then you can search that here, and it will pull up a list of carriers. It will also call out if they are a broker as well. So you can click into any of these, and then very similar information: general contact, insurance, inspections, crashes, other safety information. Search carriers will also go into more detail with their fleet. So how many drivers, how many trucks, trailers, things like that.
These are great. I feel like this is a big piece that we've been asked about for a while, is any capacity related searches or anywhere that I can find that within your tool. So really just like the head meeting the tail with market insights to finding capacity, having it all in one place.
Yep.
And then to continue with that, one of our other most recent releases is our new Quick Rate Chrome extension. So once you download the Chrome extension, the Chrome extension from the Chrome store, you can then log in to the Quick Rate tool, and you have those lane level rates and market insights right at your fingertips, and it's in your workflow. So if you get a carrier that's reaching out saying that they can run this shipment for you, you can search their MC in our new tool and then see what current market rate is and negotiate with them without having to leave your workflow. So this tool is really easy to use. It's simple as searching in a lane, so origin, destination, equipment type. You get some broker guidance, which is telling you, okay, this is how capacity is fluctuated as of yesterday and how I need to react to the market. We'll give you our current spot rate, which again is real time as of yesterday, so you can see as the market's shifting and the rates that you are paying to the carrier. And then we have our rejections and what that means. So rejections are currently at 5.3%, which is a fairly neutral market with minimal change. So you have all of this right in your browser. You can be in your email, have these insights, and answer your customers more quickly and effectively all in one place. Anything I'm forgetting on that?
And this minimal change, so this is derived from a week over week change. So if rejections are seeing, strong increases, it's going to say tightening. If strong decreases, it'll say loosening. And then that difficulty score, this is a 1 to 9 score. The closer you are to 9, the more difficult capacity may be to secure for that lane. So, cover those 7, 8s, 9s earlier in the morning, where those kind of 1, 2, 3s, you've got a little bit more time. And then you've got kind of your middle of the road, more neutral, that really could go either way. We do have a margin calculator at the bottom. So if you want to do target margin, sell price, margin percent, or markup, you can choose that. Choose the current high or low track rate to calculate it on. And then you can adjust the miles should your specific miles be different. And then when you calculate, if you want that flat rate, you will get that flat rate there, and it'll give you the sell price and sell rate back to the customer. Now, one thing that I want to call out on this is this Chrome extension is available on any browser window you have up. If you're in your email, if you're, on just a random browser tab, it is always available. The S is there to pop it out, quickly search a lane, and get the information you need. You do not have to be logged into the main Sonar UI to log into the Chrome. It is separate, so you can be logged into this and not logged into the UI specifically.
Yep. And if you have a Sonar subscription already and you have logins to the UI, you have access to the Chrome extension. So please reach out to your account manager if you want to get set up or set up additional users so we can get everyone access. That's a lot. We've had a lot of great releases. Which we have even more coming. So that segues to next week. If you're not coming to F3, our Future Freight Festival right here in Chattanooga, you should be. It's going to be a great time with more Sonar releases and also just to connect with other industry professionals. And Chattanooga is a great city. It's a pretty mild fall here. We have a good time. So we'd love to have y'all join us next week if you're not already.
It will be streamed live.
Yes.
So if you ever watch, FreightWaves TV, or you can join in there, and the general session stage will be streamed live. So feel free to go to freightwaves.com/events, check out the F3 event, check out the agenda, see if there's any conversations that you want to listen in on.
Definitely. I'm excited. It's always a good time.
Yep.
And if you want to keep hanging out with me, I'm going to be starting a new weekly webinar or bringing back our With Sonar if you watched it previously. So you can chat with me weekly and get some more insight on use cases, how to better utilize Sonar to your full capabilities. So look out for that on a weekly basis coming soon. And thank y'all so much for joining us today. Hopefully this was helpful. And if you have any questions, please reach out to CS or your account manager. We're happy to talk through anything with you further.
All right. Awesome, guys.
Thanks.